Hey guys, hello. So, unexpected. I cannot help myself. I said in the last stream that I would skip a day for work. I've actually been quite productive this morning, but still, I cannot help myself just continuing this build of the Skyhawk. It's so much fun. So that's what we're going to do today. Hey Boom, good to see you. Tim, did I miss a test flight? No, not yet. We did not do a test flight. We are currently, let me use the mouse there, still busy with that PlaneMaker stuff. We could actually already increase the bar there from 8% to whatever. It's a little bit arbitrary, but still we're in PlaneMaker, still working on the airframe. And then we need to do airfoil maker. And then when we reach the end of that stage, then I'm going to do a test flight. So we still need to put in a lot of numbers. I mean, we have a propeller running, as you can see, which looks really, really pretty. But it doesn't amount to anything because there is no anything set yet in terms of fuel injection or the propeller airfoil also. So this is just still a model. So still still a lot of stuff that we need to do. Hey Alex, good to see you. The Eco, good to see you too. Okay, so what we're going to do today, as we already planned, let me also put on some music because that's the fuel of my creativity. The Pitot tube we're going to make as a miscellaneous body. Again, we extensively talked about this in the previous stream because I also would have made the air filter here on the front of the nose. It really looks pretty, guys. Look at that. Almost exact. But some of you said, well, it's quite negligible if you put those miscellaneous bodies on top. And also for the air filter, it might become a little bit unnecessarily too complex because the fuselage has its own drag coefficient. I have no idea what that practically means. I know what drag is, but don't know what a high or small number is. But you put in an overall drag coefficient for the fuselage for the nose. And if you then on top of that also put in the miscellaneous body of the air filter and also give that a drag, then you got actually a double, unnecessarily a double drag coefficient working there. We could also not give it a drag, the air filter, but then it doesn't really add to, doesn't have any added value because this model is not the model that we're actually going to see in X-Plane. That's the model that we're going to work on in Blender or whatever 3D model software that we're going to use. I planned to use Blender. Yeah, but we did build in the exhaust pipe, as you can see. Still, we need to put in some drag coefficients there. Making some progress. Yeah, Eco. Exactly. And I am going to make the Pitot tube as a miscellaneous body. That is what I'm going to work on right now. So that's going to be 2 tubes. One is the horizontal thing of the Pitot tube and then upwards. And we also need to figure out some kind of a drag coefficient there and do a test flight. And also like to see the difference between one with the Pitot tube and one without to see if it makes any effect. Again, that's not the point. I also just love to have become a little bit more familiar with PlaneMaker, create such miscellaneous bodies and add them. But it's just fun to have a look what the PlaneMaker does with that. And wheel fairings. Even though I like to fly the Cessna eventually without wheel fairings, I guess I don't know if that's even possible with the SP or whether it's equipped always with those wheel fairings. But it seems to me more a rented, rusty kind of fitting, I think. But it makes sense to already put them in and perhaps create 2 models, one with the fairings and one without, in terms of the physics model of the Cessna Skyhawk. And I would rather make the complete one first so we can always downgrade if we like. Don't forget to fix the left elevator size. Well, actually, we already very briefly looked at those. And as you can see, the elevator is not there yet, so we need to implement that as well. But that menu doesn't provide us with the same kind of features that the flaps and the elevator, the trim, sorry, I mean the trim. The elevator size here is correct. But I was referring to the trim. Elevator trim needs to be added as well. And that menu doesn't provide the same kind of chord size, tip size kind of tinkering. So it's just some numbers that we need to put in, which is a bit weird, I think. The reason why the trim is on, I believe, this side, the right side here, is because of that prop wash. So from behind, the propeller then turns and creates an airflow, which goes all the way around the aircraft to the back. This is hard for perspective. Yeah, let me see. We're now at the front. Yeah. So the prop wash just goes all the way down until it, under the wings, until it eventually hits, mostly hits this side of the horizontal stabilizer, and that's where the trim has most effect. I believe that's the reason. But anyways, those are just numbers that we need to put in. Today we're going to work on the pitot tube and stuff and anything else. If we have time, elevator trim, yeah, wheel fairings, wing flex, so the degree to which the wings can wiggle as we are taxiing or have turbulence. We need to find some numbers in the manual. I don't know if there is any such a thing, or we need to guess. I don't know. The struts need to have a more thicker airfoil, and also the horizontal stabilizer needs to have one. See manual 3 degrees. Apparently we already read something about that. I think that's the angle of incidence. Talking about angle of incidence, that's what I did also. Looked at. Meanwhile, wing flex. No, I have not studied wing flex just yet. I did look at the manual, as we did yesterday as well, considering the angle of the maximum angle of the rudder, so the rudder deflection, and we found actually 2 numbers. One was referring to the angle based off of the hinge of where the rudders are turning, so I guess that's this point here. And the other angle was referring to some other WL, I don't know what it was, what it stands for. One was 16 degrees and a bit, and the other was 17 and a bit. Now, I think that the control surface here in X-plane, that angle is based off of that hinge point. So that's something that I'm going to change right now, and I think it was 17. Was it 17? I thought it was 16. Let's have a look. So I'm going to add that right away, or change that right away, I mean. Angles. Hey Sim, good to see you. Model 172S. Yeah, so here, rudders measured parallel to WL. Wing, level, wing, left wing, I don't know what it is. That's 16 degrees. Yeah, we need to, I think we need to set it to the one of the hinge, which is just a minor difference. You can see 16 degrees and 10 minutes. Or 16 degrees and a bit to 17 and quite a bit. It's actually reaching on 18. So let's do that one. And that's going to be at control geometry. Rudders 17, already set it at 17. Let's make it 0.4. Okay, so that's a change. Let's save. Yeah, and something else. Oak, user Oak, yesterday on the stream, also tweeted me with a great contribution, namely for the next stream tomorrow, I think, or perhaps the day after, I'm not quite sure yet. We need to also implement the wing twist, right, in the wings. So if you imagine holding on to the tip here of the wing, and at the root, wing twist is actually just twisting both. So there's actually a curve here. It's not a persistent, consistent kind of airfoil that's here. Currently it is with our current Skyhawk, but that's not, the actual Skyhawk does have a little bit of a twist. And I couldn't find any information of a table that shows us what that particular twist should be in terms of angle of incidence. So turning, well, that amount of twist. I only found 2 things. One is in the surface manual, it said that that twist is about 3 degrees in total. which is a nice number, but we don't know what then the starting angle is and the ending angle. We only know that if you add up the change in angle, that it sums up to 3 degrees, which is nice, and it was also kind of 3 degrees, kind of a rough, crude number. The other thing that we learned is that that wing twist is actually not starting at this wing root all the way down to the wing tips, but it starts actually only in the second wing section. So from the flaps to the ailerons. That's what I read about. Then I was, in yesterday's stream, I was looking at the structural manual, the repair manual for the Cessna 172. And we found, let me see, yeah, it's this picture actually. Let me just hide that for now. Yeah, this one. So there are two pictures, or two pages. One is for the 182, model 182, which we are not modeling. We're modeling the 172 series, and this is for all types, I guess. And the good man, Oak, said, hey, this is actually a table that you can use to calculate the angles. And I already had an idea of what he was referring to, but I didn't spend any time on doing that. So I received a tweet of him, and he said, well, I just use these numbers to calculate the angle of incidence. Now, I'd like to go through this, even though we're not going to do that today, but I really appreciate that contribution once more, but also show you a bit of how that works. So if you can see here, oh, by the way, some other thing that we already knew, there was a table also mentioned in this bachelor thesis of Alexander that we found, believe it or not. And he also, well, he's doing research, as you clearly can see, in terms of the aerodynamics, also using the 172, which is great. Also mentioning wing twists, and also how he incorporated that in his model. And what he did, same picture as you can see here that we're using as well. Yeah, this picture, I've already shown this a couple of times, but just to be complete. You see a table here with the different wing sections that correspond, I guess, to these subdivisions that you can see here. This is the red one, which is currently selected, so I guess that's this wing section, number 4. And you can see here a particular dihedral, so that's the angle of which the wingtip goes up. So it's just the angle whether the wings are more elevated at the tip than at the roots, which to him seemed 1.7 degrees. Still need to look that up as well, don't know for sure. We matched our dihedral angle just with the picture, and we found actually that the left and the right wing are not symmetrical. So while one wing should have a, for example, 1.7 degree of a dihedral going upwards with the tip in relation to the root here, the other wing has actually a slightly different dihedral, and we accounted for that in our model of the Cessna Skyhawk, which is more precise, more accurate than the default 172. Also, that of the Airflow Labs is one. But you also see twist angle, and we thought, hey, that's interesting. 1.41, 1.12, 0.8, and you can see it turns all the way around to almost a negative angle. And well, that if you go from plus 1.41 to minus 1.5, that's almost like a 3 degree total twist, right? So that confirms what we also read in other manuals. So that was good. So we thought, hey, we could actually work with this. But still, I have no idea what the source is. I mean, did he just invent this? We have no idea, actually. So I was still looking for some other way, and then we found this structural manual, and here you can see kind of like the same. Referring to those angles actually in an entirely different way. You can see the different one wing, you can see. Again, this suggests that this is actually asymmetrical, so the same kind of measures that we see here also would account for the other wing. So we got one wing station here, 39 inches, I hope, away from the root, also 100 and 207, so 3 points. And what you see here is when the engineer, I guess, or the mechanic is working or checking, verifying whether the airfoil is still correctly twisted, it puts the wing onto these bolts, as you can see. if you also look closely, they do not have the same height. And that's exactly what's the point. So you can see here that bolt, it could be the A1 or the B1. And referring to these wing stations here, the height of the bolt differs. So bolt A at the first station and the second station is 2 inches tall. For bolt B at the back here, for those 2 stations, it's the same. It's also 1 and 1. And C, that's the distance between the bolts, is also constant to 29.5. Now, based off of these numbers, you can actually infer a triangle and do some basic maths to infer the angle that is associated for keeping the wing straight and level. So you know what that angle of incidence might be. Same goes then for the third station, as you can see here. Then suddenly these measures change. So you can see then the bolt A becomes not tall, 0.45 inches, and bolt B is actually bigger. And that would refer to the negative angle of incidence, as we are seeing here. And in the same way, you can calculate that angle. So, for example, here we could pick this one, for example, the last station. We need to have a calculator though. Let me just see if Google can do this as well. Google can do anything. So this also, I think. You pick the difference between the height of bolt A and bolt B, which is 0.55. So that's one side of the triangle. We have 24 inches, and we have a particular angle that we like to infer. So if my maths are correct, that should be the tangus. I don't know how you say it in English. So that would be... Let me just bring up some kind of calculator here. We should actually have the inverted tangus. Let me just do... It's 0.55. Let me see. And let's start all over. We do not want radius, we just want to have degrees. And we like to have the inverted tangus of 0.55 divided by that 24. That's correct, I think. Is 1.31. Negative, that would be. That would be a negative of 1.31 degrees, which is slightly different from the degree that we see here, but also or the angle that we see here, but perhaps that's because these angles, or these, as you can see here in this picture, we have more wing stations to refer to in terms of that angle of incidence than this picture shows. We only see 3 stations here with particular, what we can refer angles of by, but here we see actually more. Yeah, but they are slightly off with this table. But this is great. Now with these numbers, we can actually infer the right angle, which was a great observation by Oak. And he also, that's what he tweeted me about. He also did this on his own. And let me see, does that correspond? 1.3 with, where am I? Here am I. So he was referring to that, and he did some calculations. Let me see. Yeah, so here, 0.451. That's a difference of 0.55. Radians, yeah, here, 1.31 corresponds with ours. So that's great. That's great. And you can do the same thing with the other angles. And he comes at 1.94, and I totally believe him. Again, that's a bit bigger than we see here. Now, one note that he also made was, okay, we are inferring those angle of incidences based off of the structural repair image, but there might be one catch, which might explain why our numbers are slightly off from this table. And I still need to find that information still. These angles that we are referring to, or these bolt heights, are based off of the flat surface at the bottom of the wing. but I don't know whether the angle of incidence is referred to, is related, is referencing to the flat bottom side of the wing or the chord of the wing. Did I enable my drawing thing? Yes, I did. Does it work? No. I should be able to draw. Yes, thank you. Go away. Go away. So this is the chord, which is obviously different from the side or the flat bottom of the wing. So if we found our different angles here, the 1.9, we need to minus, I don't know what the English words are, sorry guys, this particular angle. And I think that's right, and that might be, coincidentally, so this particular angle then, if that's correct, would be, well, what was it? What did we find? What did he find? 1.94. So 1.94 minus 1.41. That would be 0.53 degrees. So that's the, I don't know what that is called, but that's the angle between the chord of the wing and the flat bottom of the wing. And I still need to find that information. Still though, it's unfortunate that there's no source here, because this looks pretty good. And what I also like, we have more stations here in this picture, so we can be more precise in comparison to this picture. So if only we could verify this 1.41 based off of this reasoning inference here, finding that 0.53 for that angle would be a great find, because then we know that this table is actually correct and we can use those numbers. I just like to be right on this and just also study and learn about this stuff. Yes, that's still something that is ongoing. And we also checked these numbers with the default 172, which also shows this twist, and it is working with a 1.5 degree here. So this seems more precise, which is interesting. It does have the same NECA airfoil. So that's an update on what I'm up to next, or off stream, you could say. And thanks again, Oak, for sharing that on Twitter. I also retweeted that tweet, which is this picture, actually. And it seems to work out. Okay, remove this drawing tool. Sounds nice, but it's not perfect. Yes, and another thing that I found is this picture. As you can see, it's the same, I think almost the same as our Skyhawk here. The Skyhawk side views, top views that we are using. It seems like a more dated, you can see 1981, so this is probably very likely, no, I'm not totally 100% sure that this is not the S model, which was released in 1998. Still though, what I like is this. These are the exact same stations, the same way of working, you could say, that we do here in PlaneMaker with the fuselage, with the sections, as you can see here at the bottom. We have multiple though. You can also see here, I'm noticing here that the wingspan of this Skyhawk is 35 and 10 inches, while the S version is 36 precise. So yeah, clearly it's a bit off. Dihedral of wing 1.35, yeah, but it's asymmetrical. It's interesting. Measured on top of wing at 75 chord. Anyways, what we could do is try to mimic, and you can see already, if you, for example, pick this first station and we don't know, we do know where it is. It's here. So here you can see all the different numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it corresponds with 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So we know exactly what the stations are or would be like. We can also, on top of that, use that to further optimize the shape of the Skyhawk, even though it's not the S SP version here, it gives us a better reference. You can see it's also entirely flat on top. If you look at my stations here, it is not still. So there's still some optimization to do, also in relation to the wing foil that we're gonna fix. So anyways, a lot of more resources coming together to make our perfect Skyhawk, which I think is really, really neat. OBR would like to ask you, how do you think this building series is affecting your Twitch, YouTube? Well, I'm still doing my flight training though. I'm still flying, so I actually plan to. Also need to go on Discord, by the way. I have a special guest today on stream, guys. I am. Let me see if this is correctly set. Voice output. I think that will work, and we automatically. Yeah, we actually have a guest soon. Someone who PM'd me. It's actually SN, who's also been here on the stream. And he's also making aircraft. And he's already also familiar with Blender and 3D 3D Max software. So I invited him here on stream today so we can chat and we can ask him all kinds of questions of whether our progress bar is good or whether he has some tips for us. And we're getting in. We're inviting others who are also familiar and experienced with PlaneMaker and just creating aircraft here to just share their knowledge and experience, which I think is really, really great. But anyways, I'm still going to do my flight training, so I'm still busy with attaining my virtual instrument rating here. In X-Plane using the default 172, but I'm really interested in making this Skyhawk, and it's such a new dimension to my flight simulation practice. So I'm just following the flow, following my bliss, and I will just see where it goes. So yeah, it's just, and we're streaming more often, which is a good thing, OBR. Yeah. So that's something I'm going to note as well. Wings, vertical stabilizer, propeller plates, aligning the fuselage with the wings, plus in reference to cross-sectional images. Yeah, then I know what I mean. Okay. All right, so that's the update. Already did this. So let's start on making the Pitot tube today as a miscellaneous body. So I would suggest first making that horizontal tube and get it in place, then match it with the side view to get its proper length. And let's see where that goes. Standard. Miscellaneous bodies. We're not using objects because I like this one to be included in the physics calculations. This is the exhaust pipe, and we should actually do kind of like the same with our Pitot tube. So we're going to create two bodies. One is the horizontal and the other is the vertical bit of the Pitot tube. Hey, what? Good to see you. Welcome on the stream. Aircraft has this external or an external body. It has an external body. It has numerous, but first, body radius. So what is the body radius of the Pitot tube? Structural repair. Perhaps we find it here. I don't even know. Pitot tube. Nope, not here. Very unlikely that we would find something about that. But you never know, and it's always fun to watch through or to browse through these manuals. Parts catalog. Well, I don't know whether that's just an index. Please, Mac, just think. Thank you. Pitot tube. Pitot tube. Here, assembly spiral wrap. I don't see any pictures here. So not this manual. What's this? Service manual. That's a good one. Pitot tube. Yes. That's the picture though. Also nice how to see how it actually works, or how it is wired, I should say, not how it works. We're not going to build all these inner parts, but we're going to make this part and then this part. And you can see it's a bit of an airfoil, so that's important. So with the first part is just a tube, and this one we're going to assign a symmetrical airfoil to. Do we have anything else? In terms of numbers, I'm not expecting that we see anything on that front, so we just need to no. Well, doesn't really matter. For the exhaust pipe, we used 0.2, which was quite thick, so let's use 0.1. First, have a sense of whether that's tall or not. Then let's use 3 stations with 9 sides, which is more high def. And we stretch. Can we stretch those out, or can I just hit ellipse? Again, this is... I don't know what PlaneMaker is wanting us to do here. Always have trouble here, because we should have 9 and I should just be able to stretch those out, but here I can, so we'll copy it back. If anyone has a tip on how to fix that, because clearly I'm not quite aware of... Let me see. 1, 2, 3... Yeah, this is the bottom one. This should be up. This one should be here. So we have one at the top, yes. And then the only thing you need is that the top one and the bottom one and the side one should be farthest out. And if you then hit ellipse, you get a perfect ellipse. We set it to 0.1, so that means that we can extend our top and bottom and side to the max here. So you can see that matches here at the bottom almost, so we can set that 0.1. This should be 0. We click the other points too. This is 9.5, so it's not exact with my mouse moving, so let's make it precise also with the bottom one, and that seems also correct. Okay, and then we hit ellipse, boom, and we got a circle, and then we copy it and paste it. So now we got a cube of 3, or a tube of 3 stations, and it's 0, 0, 0, 0, and it doesn't have any length. How long should it be? Again, I have no idea. This one, the exhaust pipe, we made 0.7 feet. This one should be a bit shorter, so let's use... we need to use... It doesn't really matter what one we use. Let's use this one. Not 1 feet point, -5. Let's have a look. Thanks for all the auto hosts, guys. Jan Fly, Veldudes. Thanks. Trusty buddies. Yeah, so now we have a shape somewhere. Yes, there it is. There it is, tucked in. And it seems to me that it's much too thick for a Pitot tube. So we could change that. Miscellaneous bodies. Make it smaller. And that, again, we need to re-ellipse this whole thing. Let's make it 5. So we shrink down this thing. So yeah, it now becomes a rectangular shape. Again, I think if we put ellipse, it doesn't quite work. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Down. These ones, only the rightmost top and bottom vertices should be maxed out, and then we do ellipse. Yeah, and then copy, paste, and paste. So again, now it's 0.05. Same drill. Let's see where it is. That seems more like a pitot tube thing. Also good length. So that's good. What we could do, because we are at it, is now it doesn't have a pointy nose. And the third station is actually a little bit useless. So let's do make it a point. 0, 0. And turn this one closer to the beginning. So that will be, well, 4, for example. And now have a look. Yes, pointy. Pointy. Should perhaps be a little bit longer, but that's something that we can refine soon. Let's just get it near where it should be. I have no idea. Actually, a little bit next to the strut I have... let me see. Long arm. Yeah, again, this is also a limitation of PlaneMaker that I don't quite get. With all of the other screens, we have this screen and at the same time our actual model. So we can change all of these numbers and see what the effect is. But now we need to go between back and forth between these two windows, which is not ideal. So long arm, I have no idea. Let's pick 5. That's perhaps a bit too much. Where's the exhaust pipe? It's -9. Well, -5 feet. Laterally, it should be, I don't know whether it's going to be plus or minus. Let's give it a positive. Oh, we can also refer that. This is a plus for the exhaust pipe, and that's on the other side. So this should be minus 4 feet. I have no idea. Vertical arm should be up 5 feet. Let's see where it is. It's now here. Too high up. And again, this is guesswork now because we need to go back and forth between these. This is not the way it should be. 3 feet, lateral, even more. 7. No idea about the long arm. This is better. This is better. This is better. It's actually already quite good. Yeah, laterally it should be a little bit more down. And again, we need to be much more precise. But vertical arm 0.2. How thick is a wing? 2.4. Laterally also a bit more. Add a whole feet. Add a whole foot. Yeah, even a bit more. Standard miscellaneous body. Let's make it 2 feet then. And laterally a half a feet more. Yes, comes close. Comes close. I think it's a bit short still. Miscellaneous body longer. Let's extend it to, yeah, these should travel the same distance. So in that way it would be easier if we did the other way around. But 5, let's make it 6, and then this one should be 5. It has a really pointy nose now. What did I do wrong? Oh, it's plus now. No, it should be minus 5. Yeah, it's better. Not perfect, but it's better. It should be longer, I think. But we can change it up soon. Yeah, where is it? In the front view, we don't have a pitot tube drawing, I think. Front. No, it's not depicted. So we need to find a photograph. Oh, we also have that from the manual, but rather have a perfect front Let me see, I am in, right? Hanger, yes, I'm in. Yeah, I noticed that I know that my volume is actually quite high up by default. So let's prevent ear damage. Yeah. So Chrome. Cessna Skyhawk. Nose. And again, I've been searching for this so many times in the previous episodes. It would be better just to find these pictures and just put them in a folder, but just give me a nose. View image. No, it's not as far away as the strut, obviously. It's much closer. Interesting. It's here. Again, you can become so much more conscious of the airframe. It's much closer. How close exactly? We don't really know. We know that the strut is okay. It's gonna be a bit of a guess, unfortunately. Well, what we could do, you can see that this is the transition point of wing station, where we go from the flap section to the aileron section, where the sweep occurs. And it's just a little bit, even though on this picture though, it seems much more closer to the strut, but it's also a little bit of a perspective issue. A little bit more close to the strut than on this picture. So I'm not trusting the sketch. I'd rather just go with this. Yes. Here. Okay. Miscellaneous bodies. Lateral arm should be less. 6.5. Let's see what happens. Well, that's not bad. But looking at the picture should be farther, much more closer. 1? Oh, that's vertical arm. Miscellaneous bodies 2. Let's make it 5. That seems quite good. It's not exactly in the middle like this one is, and it's more to the right. This seems good. Also quite close to the wing. Also in this picture you can see the angle of incidence, by the way, where we see a lot more of the flat surface of the bottom of the wing here in this first section than here. You can see that it twists. And here it actually becomes negative, as you can see. Now, and for that section, this is what we need to build in as well. And that's where those angles come in that we were referring to. So this might be that 1.94 or 1.41 angle of incidence. And then here it turns into a negative 1.5, or what was it? Fine by me. Then how high up should it be? What's the vertical arm? Well, it seems okay. Again, these are just minor things. This is absolutely no drag issue at all, so it's still a bit silly to make it, but I'm just going to create it. Yeah, I think this is actually the right height. Side picture then to have a better sense of how high up it is. No, the other side. Yes. Oh. That's actually pretty good. It's quite close. I think it's a bit closer to the wing. Miscellaneous body, vertical arm 3. No, that's too close. Miscellaneous body 10 then. Also, we got that angle of incidence here, or this curve there, not level of. So it's a little bit of a perspective thing, I guess. So I'm just gonna keep it at 2. Okay, that's good. And in terms of length, it's also good. Done. I think that's done. It's also quite straight, which makes sense. Straight on level, I mean. So no need to turn or change that pitch. Wonderful. Then let's also make that next surface standard miscellaneous body. Next one. Yes, external body. Yeah. Or should we make it a miscellaneous wing? Can I add a airfoil to a miscellaneous body? I think not. It should be a wing. We can check export airfoils. No, only with miscellaneous wings, as you can see. Which makes sense. So we still have a slot that we can use for this. So standard miscellaneous wings. Yeah, we still got 10, which is wonderful. Okay, so yeah, it's gonna be tiny as well. 5 root cords. 1. No, we don't need to use that. How many stations? Yeah, it's gonna be tiny. Let's just use 1. Can we see it? Yes, we can. It's tucked away there. Okay. Right or left wing? It's going to be the left wing. And it needs to be tilted, actually. It's going to be a 90-degree. Yes, it's now up. It should be much smaller for something like this. There's a bit more. I'd like to tuck that into the... Yes, completely flat. Yes. Yeah, now give it the same referencing here. So what I will just use to make life a little bit more easy is go to miscellaneous bodies and screenshot this. Go back, standard, and miscellaneous wings. Screenshots. Where's the screenshot? Oh, that's how it works. Okay. Well. Yeah, and we got length long arm. -5. Lateral is -5.5. Vertical arm is +2, and that's it. Yeah, it's quite a nice fit. Should be precise. Yeah. Okay, but it should be a little bit longer. Oh, it goes up. Yeah. So then the vertical arm should go down. Seems okay. Yes. Now I want to know whether it's actually also in the wing. And it seems that it is. Yes, just slightly. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, done. And then I'd like it to have a bit of an airfoil. So airfoils, miss wings. That's this one, right? I cannot turn here. I cannot use the zoom. Again, this is a bug or mishap here in PlaneMaker. Yeah, it's going to be 11 because it's the next row. Yeah, so again, I think that this has to do with the thickness of the symmetrical wing. So what we're going to do is make it thicker. So rather than using the 009er, let's use the 24. Let's see if we can see the difference there. Also with PlaneMaker, or in the next stream, I guess, there are important differences between these two. So I'm just copy pasting these to all these slots, but this is a Reynolds number, and I'm not quite sure what that is about still. I've read about something. There's a low number and a high number, or a high value or a low value, and based on what you're doing with your aircraft, PlaneMaker can either use one or the other airfoil. So yes, and there's also a difference between this side and that side, which is not indicated here. It's in PlaneMaker manual, but that's something that we need to look into later. Anyways, we changed that to 24. Let's see if we... Well, it is thicker, but in the manual it seems to be even more thick. So let's see if that works. 30. Open. And still, I can imagine that even though we try to be nice here or accurate, even though it doesn't really significantly change the drag or the air performance at all, adding this Pitot tube is just fun detail, I guess. It could be that it's such a minor detail that actually X-Plane will exaggerate the... yeah, this is thickest. This seems good. Exaggerates irrealistically, not realistically, what the Pitot tube is doing to the performance of the aircraft. It could be that it's not really tailored to calculate physics for this such a small element, and so we need to remove it afterwards. No. Just been busy at it. Been working on this for 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes. So that's not really an issue. we made a Pitot tube. At least the body of it, the model of it, which went actually pretty fast. Pleased with that. Look at that, guys. Our Cessna Skyhawk. Nice. Cool. So we did that as well. Wheel fairings. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit more of a thingy. Standard wheel fairings and skids. Front and back. Landing gear, we should enable those first. Yeah, so here you can see faired, so that's the right checkbox here. And we would like to have them for all the wings. As you can see, there they are, the wheel fairings. With 5 stations. Yeah. The skids don't need a... I think don't need a proper body. No, we already made one. Control wheel fairings. Wheel fairing 1 and 2. Yeah, wheel fairing 1 is the nose wheel. These are the 2 main wheels, which, well, you would say that they would perhaps be symmetrical and we could just copy paste those, but again, asymmetricality in the Skyhawk is actually quite dominant. So my next question would be, okay, it's nice. Do we have pictures? Structural repair. I have no idea. Fairings. Or let's just search for wheels. Well, not in the structural repair model. Reference this stuff. Well, maintenance manual. Let's have a look. Wheel. Just looking at these thumbnails to wheel. To get some pictures going, the trim. Yes, this is already one, but it's not a perfect, perfect image. 612. This is even better. But again, I'd like to draw over the picture, and this is a weird angle. I just like to have a side and front view. $620. Unfortunately, we don't have a high-res version of this. 172, yeah, but this is not the S, as you can see. This would also be a way to figure out the wing twist, but it doesn't seem to be there that much. Anyways, that's not what I was searching for. There's another image that I think might be interesting. 13. Yeah, but this doesn't seem to be right. This is a more like a cone at the end, and clearly that's not the case. You can also just look at Google Images. Let's do that. Just keep this one. Cessna Skyhawk. Wheel fairings. Images. Why don't I see any? And here I do see. Okay. I only see Skyhawks here. That's interesting. Yes. Wheel fairings. Yes. Perhaps this is a shop or something like that. And it might provide us with some specs. $520 for a wheel pant. This is for the 172R and also for the S. Click to enlarge. Yeah. Well, it's not bad actually. It's a proper picture. This would be the front wheel. Let's just download it anyway because it is nicely higher res and still in an angle, but we can work with that, approximate that shape. This would be the nose wheel, I think. Why is this a smaller picture? Because it's an entirely different site. $172S. Ah, thank you. And let's put that thing there. Okay, do we see some differences? This is the nose. Well, obviously the strut is here, obviously. And again, we don't see, I would also love to see a front view because we don't know how much curve this is. We do see the side view shape, but from the front we also see how wide it is. It's generally the same. And it's all the same for the 172, so let's remove the S, perhaps we see more results. Nope. I also have the side view, there are the wheel fairings. Hey, I didn't know about that. Obviously here we can see those. Are they just flat surfaces? Are they that simple? I guess. from the side. Aircraft. No, not the airfoil labs. Our own sliced. 2. Oh no. Not the sliced one. Just the side 2. Yeah, this doesn't seem right at all. So those wheel fairings are just made up and not part of the actual scaled model. So that's no use. I think we have to work again. So this is the inner part, I guess. Oh no, this, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really matter that much. Okay. A few more. That one might work. But that is the back. Yeah, but it does, it's more like a straight, there is a bit of a curve there, and again, or a sort kind of inwards. It's actually quite a different type. Here you have different types of wheel fairings. These seem to be much more stretched out, much more like a sharp nose here than this one. I prefer that one that we already have. So, but again, it seems to be straight down, perhaps a little bit inward there. Starting to develop a idea of what's going on with the wheel fairings. So we don't miss out on any important characteristics. No, I think we are fine. I think I can build it. Okay. Okay. Let's make the general shape, side shape first. I would say yes. Let's keep that. Nose wheel. We can remove that one, I guess. Yeah. Okay. PlaneMaker. That's the wheel fairings. Yeah. Multiple stations there. How many do we need? Well, it should always be closed off, I think, so no holes. So that's 1 point. Then 1, 2, yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's just make 9. Okay. Cherith, what plane are you making? I'm making a Skyhawk 172S. And I'm now working on the wheel fairings, as you can see. So yeah, trying to learn to make aircraft for X-Plane. So this is PlaneMaker. If you look at the top of my stream, you can see a progress bar there. At least this is what I plan to do. I think this involves all of the stages that I need to go through to get to a proper Skyhawk. I'm going to make a study level one. So it's going to be a huge project. So it's going to take us several months, perhaps even a year or so. All the texturing, Photoshop, I would just like to learn how the guys do that. And in the process, make a Skyhawk that I'm proud of and would love to fly myself as well. So that's kind of like the summary. Again. Wheel fairings, 9 stations. Yeah, and again, I don't know how big they are. Again, I think mine is a feet, and there should be a point here, and it should also end with a point. So it's now 1 foot long, and it's 2 feet high. That's too much. Let's make it 0.5. I have no idea. Ellipse, 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 ellipse. We only have 5 radii or 5 sides, but I'd like to have 9. So this is the top one. Let's go up. Uh, 0.5. This one should 0.5 as well. Again, we have to see whether that works or not. 9 stations. What are we doing? Yeah. Thought I missed a few. There they are. 1, 3. Then this one should be there, and then these ones should be up. Again, to the top, to the bottom. 5, 5, 5, yes, and then hit ellipse. Even though we're not really going to use an ellipse, it's a good starting point. Copy, paste, 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 paste. 0, 0, 0. So these stations are just overlaying one another for now. That's fine by me. What I'm concerned most with is first getting the length right and then the width. So this is going to be at 0 and this is going to be a point. Yeah, so now we've got a closed off cube of 1 foot tall or long, if I'm correct. And this is for the wheel, the front nose wheel. Yes, there it is. It's closed off there. Oh yeah, also you have a feet, so it's a cone. Yeah, it's a perfect cone. Yeah. Again, I'm not going to reference this picture here, background image, because this seems to be off. This is not the right shape. So we need to look at a actual real world Cessna Skyhawk picture. Also, let's have some fresh air. Why is this so much fun? I mean, I'm actually surprised by how cool this actually is. Also meditative, it's relaxing somehow. Okay, so it should be a bit taller, so the radius is also off, okay? So just generally intuitively approach kind of like the shape and then work from that. Wheel fairings. 0.8. And again, do the same trick. These ones go up. 0.8 it should be. Oh, we can just go up and it cannot go farther. Oh, that's easy. 0. Oh. This one should go up, up, up. That's 8. And then again, ellipse. And copy, 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 copy. No, that should be a point. Oh, not that one. Up. That one. Yes, should be 0, 0. This one should be 0, 0 as well. There it is. Yeah, and it seems to be not like a point. I see multiple points there. So just click on it and it all collapses, I think. Yes. 0, 0. Okay. Length. So let's make it 2 feet. 2 feet, 0.8 feet wide. That's not true. That's the radius, but yeah. Let's remove the background image because it's actually distracting. This is much too tall. Again, we are working with half. Wheel fairings. That's too much, so let's work with 1.5. That might work. Let's do the same with the end. So that would be plus 0.5. And we can move this one to also 0.5. I don't really care. And this one should also be -5. So we got a tube. Minus 5. Yes. Click. No, we got something inverted. Wheel fairings. Minus. I said -1.5. Yeah, this is plus. Yes. No. So now we can start to get to the right length, longitudinal length first, and then obviously the whole thing should have an offset a little bit more vertically because obviously now we're stuck on the ground. We have skis on almost. Also, did we save already? Important. Standard wheel fairings. Yeah, I think it's a little bit too much. So let's go to 3. And this one 2. And it should have an offset. Body location. Oh, we cannot do that? Okay. I was thinking about the miscellaneous bodies menu, but apparently with the wheel fairings that's not how it should work. So, oh, excuse me. That means that we should, yeah, just do it here in this menu and just move up these things so that they might work. And it's going to be a flat surface anyway. So what we could do is just have a little bit of fun. We got 9 stations. Perhaps it's better. No, it doesn't really matter. Well, something like this. And let's put them all here. And that's the back one. Doesn't really matter. It looks ugly. Let's see what we have. Yes. Well, for a wheel fairing, that's not too bad as a height. I mean, we can move these vertices up as well. It's just a matter of how high up. And in terms of height, it's also not too bad. But again, it's a little bit of a guess. We don't have measures. Actually, never searched for wheel fairing dimensions, or let's just use width. It's in the information manual. Let's have a look. Can we search? Yes. Fairings. Looks good. Wheel fairings installation. Arm, weight, nose wheel fair. Hey. Hey. We have the information menu ourselves as well. Information manual 2, I don't mind. Wheel fairings. Hello? That's interesting. Yeah, this is the same. Yeah, perhaps this also is available for the Pitot tube. Wheel fairings and installation. Nose wheel. What is this? Weight in pounds, arm in inches. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, this is just where it is placed. Unfortunately. Too much of a quick look. Anyways. Again. The Cessna172club.com sounds good. Wheel fairings, Cessna. Documents. Installation instructions. Yeah, that doesn't include obviously the specs. The exterior parts catalog. Yeah, I have that as well. Parts catalog. Would it be mentioned here? Fairing. Fairings, yeah, but it's just a basic check. Yeah, okay. So that means that we're just gonna base it off of a picture. That's the best guess that we have. This one, but also in reference to the airplane. So Cessna Skyhawk. Side, and I would like to have a high-res picture. Perhaps, yeah, the side could work. But the nose would be perhaps even better. What a beauty of an aircraft. Yes, we're looking at the tail here at the front. Yeah. Well, it's actually not bad at all. That's not bad at all. In terms of height, how much wheel is visible? Should be a bit more, I think. Standards. Wheel fairings. So let's go for this. Let's have a look. Yes. Yes, well, let's work with that for now. Okay. Then let's keep this at the same level. Again, this should be much more straight and flat, but for now it suffices. Will suffice, yeah. And this should be much more flatty. So again, let's do this. Let's see if that's a good radius. Again, even though we set the body radius of these wheel fairings to be much more, we can always work with making it smaller. It doesn't really matter. Let me see, it's still quite wide if we would go with these ones. So they should be much more tighter on the wheels. I guess they also should be a little bit more up. Standards, wheel fairings. Should have actually also in the front view have a look at these other vertices here, because then I knew how much farther. I should narrow them down. Okay, again, let's have a look. That's much better. That's much better. Well, let's work with that first. Wheel fairings. So we could, again, these stations or these vertices radii or sides don't function really for aesthetics here because they don't do much. But that doesn't really matter. This one is good, so let's go up. Well, that's what we could do. We could use this one to make this edge a little bit more curvy. But that's for later. How high up? Well, that was actually quite okay. Yeah, that's fine. Again, should be refined soon, but hey, Scrab, welcome. Yes. Yeah, and then this one. Again, this is a little bit more rounded off. So, something like that. Again, this is not the actual model that we're gonna see, that we will see in X-Plane eventually. This is just a physics model that X-Plane uses to do all the air for now. Again, this is not perfect, but let's see what we got. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, I would rather see that top curve on the edges, on the corners, to be the bottom actually. And then the top can even be a little bit more curved. Let's look at it from the side. Yeah, far too extended. But we're getting there. Perhaps it should even be a bit lower. Yeah, so let's do that first. A little bit like that. Yes, this one should be much more curved, as we said. It's fine. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. Yeah. Going down. This is not bad. That's actually quite good. It's much more rounded at the top, I guess. It's much more rounded at the top. Yeah, that seems okay. Better. Better. Nose wheel. Yeah, but this is an entirely other wheel fairing. This might also work. Scrap, just building more ortho for Europe now. It takes a lot of time. Oh yeah, but ortho is worth it. Oh, 182, that's not the airplane that we're making. Okay, so let's use this one then. View image. That's actually quite good. Okay. Okay. Now let's do the longitudinal bit. Let's save this one as well. Height seems to be okay. We also have this picture. Can zoom a little bit out here. So the top seems okay, at least in terms of distance. We need to change that up. How does this work? I don't know. From the sides, let's do that first. So let's do that one here. Oh yes, I understand. We should now, yeah, we should first determine the width. It seems that the back is longer, so the wheel is actually here. So wheel fairings section, yes. This should perhaps be a little bit shortened. Let's make it 1 feet or so, just a guess. And this one 5. Yeah, perhaps this one should be a little bit taller to the front. So let's make it 1.1. It seems about okay, perhaps even a bit more. Standard wheel fairings 6. Yeah. Again, I'd like to see a better side view. View image. It should be bigger even. Wheel fairings 7. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Just hope that the tiles will work. Had it before. The 1 or 2 tiles wouldn't load and then the sim crashed. Ah, strap. Well, hoping that this time it all works out. I've actually used G2XPL at the time to generate all of those tiles. So back up those like 3 times. So I will never have to do that again. Although I would also love to fly in the Netherlands, though that's where I live with Ortho and Explain someday. Perhaps when Pilot Edge goes Europe style as well. Well, we'll never know. Wheel fairings. Yes, so now we know that this distance actually works, yes. And now, because these are still 0, these are all laid on top of one another. So that's why we don't see those points. So we need to magically, intuitively work with some kind of other, so for example, -1 feet, -700, -500, -200, plus, no, this one should already be 2. Let's make this +2, and then this one 7, and this one, yeah, let's see what that does. And I did something wrong. Points. Oh, this is point, yeah. Cook. 0.2. Point. And it should be plus. This is 0.7. And this was 0.7 as well. Now it should look better. Yeah, and let's look at the top bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, yeah, -2 because these are points. Yes, and they are completely one over the other, so that's also not handy. So let's make this 0.5, and let's also make this one minus, so we see that station as well. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Okay, so now we can work with some kind of side view here. This is going to be straight. This is where that first turn happens. So yeah. this point should actually be up. And the same goes for that thing, obviously. Okay. So this should be in the center of all of those circles, even a little bit higher. If you look at that, points in relation to the real fairing, and the same should be with that point. It should be perhaps even at the same height. Yes, exactly. It's a little bit of a rounded surface there. So let's first fix the uppermost shape. This is okay-ish. Same should work with that front. Yeah, that's the top one. Yeah, this is the top. It shouldn't be the top. It should goes up. Something like this. And then it goes. Yeah, the top is somewhere around. No, let's not use it. Let's use this one. Somewhere around. Well, this is actually kind of okay. Vertical. This one too. And this one too. But this should be a little bit more sloped. Yes. Should be a little bit more up here. Because we have multiple left. Again, not pretty, but just to rearrange this stuff. Yeah. Goes up almost straight. Here it goes down. Well, I think still it should be a little bit more to the front, actually. Vertical. Yeah, and here it should go already start to go down. Again, just general changes first, and then we're going to optimize. We're a bit late behind. It's a little bit too flat here. It's more pointy. goes. It goes up. And here it already slightly goes down. Goes down like so. That's better. Yes. And then we got an edge around here. This is a bit like so. Again, we could spread these ones just a tiny bit out. So create a tiny circle there. So it's more like a flat nose surface rather than just exactly pointy. Yeah, it seems good. I mean, not perfect, but it seems. Yeah. Getting there. Should follow this turn, this curve. So it goes a bit more up. Well, should perhaps just be a bit more tighter. This one too. It's a little bit curvy on top. It's not that such a flat roof. Yeah. Yeah, this should be changed as well. Something for later. Just in general shape, it should be less deep up. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but we are getting there. We are getting there. Save. It's actually quite flat. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Okay. This is pretty good. I would even say the side view is finished, but a little bit too sharp on this edge. Yes. This should all be changed as well. Yeah, so the side is good. Now let's do the top. Did I? Earlier I had that picture where someone sold or was about to sell those wheel fairings. It's some nice front views, but okay, let's just try. Should be close to one another because it's quite a drop. Not that one. That one should be close and straight. Yeah. Same goes with this one. I think that it's thicker on this side, and then it slowly narrows down to the end, almost like a droplet. So something like this. Quite narrow at the tip. Yeah. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Then the bottom. They should kind of like resemble the same thing. Does it? No, it's flat at the bottom. Same. Like so. Because the bottom is flat and the top is more curved, so that's what we're trying to make here. However, yeah, this one should be on top. And so, and so, and so. Yeah, that's better. These could be vertical. And this one should be a bit on top. This is not bad at all. This one is inverted. This one should be there. Yeah, I think this is about right, to be honest. But it's always best to have a look at the actual model before we are too excited. Down and down. Yeah, let's save. Always save. And remove. And look at that. Wow. Now that's good work. I'm getting better at this 3D modeling thing, even in PlaneMaker. I think this is almost spot on. I think there should be a little bit more of an angle here. Perhaps this one should be a little bit less steep, but I think it's okay. Thanks, Watt. Yeah, I think it looks good as well. I mean, one thing is though, it took me quite some time, almost an hour or so to get this right. And then I need to do this for the other main wheels too, but guess we could just make a screenshot or so. I mean, we've got bigger wheels there. Make a screenshot of the measures here and try to duplicate those. And I would also expect that there would be a difference, a slight difference in the shape when comparing the left fairing or the fairings for the left wheel to those of the right, because of all of the other asymmetrical things that we encountered with the model. But man, it's coming together. Haha. Close the window there. Yeah, so this one can be a little bit lower, I think. Wheel fairings. So that's this one. No, actually not. No. That's much better. Again, it's hard because we don't have proper picture and there's something going wrong here. Ah, that one is good, but that one is inverted. Yeah. These lines should not cross. You can see there's also here a crossing that usually indicates that something is not properly aligned. Should switch. And you can see the same is happening there as well. Yeah, it's a small mistake. You can see at the bottom view the same occurs in here too. These should be a little more out, and this should also be a little more close because this is a flat surface going up. Yeah, we can also vertically align these because again, this is a flat surface. Not that it really matters, but boom. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, this should also be a little bit more closely tucked together. Yeah, and then what I'd like to do is just to give this another point, but a little bit of a... Oh no, that's not what we want to do, because then we got a hole going. Should be a point. Points. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, this is the top, that's okay. Perhaps even like so. Nose wheel fairing, checked, looks good. All right, the main wheels. Let's just do a screen dump. And let's remove that one. Although we need to make sure, yeah, it's kind of like the general shape. It's the same thing here. Yes. And again, you can see it's quite a... Should not be that pointy. Yes. This. Yeah. Again, where's that screen dump? Yeah, let's remove it. Again, let's tweet it out that we're making progress here. Okay, main wheels. Standards, wheel fairings. Fairing 2, same drill. 9. There? Yes, they're there. One, two, three. This one should go there, and that one should go there. ellipse. Yeah, so this is 2 feet. That was 0.80. Then this should be perhaps 0.1. I don't know. Yeah. This was, the point should be up there. I guess the same would apply to the main wheels too. How many stations did we have? 9, let's use 9 as well. Again, point reference there. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. This is minus 1.150. I think these would be bigger. 1.70. These are all 0, 0, 0, and that one was plus 1.7. So one. Let's pick 2. And let's also make this one 2, and make also this one 1.6. What was it there? Yeah, about 100. Like this. Yeah. Let's see what happens. All right. Let's go to the other side here. Not too bad though. Too bad. It's actually pretty good in terms of distance and arm. It's a little bit longer than that side and that side. I think it should be a little bit more closer up. Nose wheel. Let's make that 0. Yeah, that's better. A bit more that way. Standard wheel fairings. That's 1, so let's 9. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Oops. Wheel fairings Z. That doesn't do anything. 1.1 was it? Yeah. Maple always wanted to make aircraft, but it looks so hard. Yeah. Well, it doesn't really look. I mean, it looks hard, but it isn't really hard. It just takes time, and every step that you make, every step is actually quite a simple step, but there are so many steps. So it's actually quite an effort, and also in my case, I need to familiarize myself with PlaneMaker. I'm also taking a lot of care, making very, very precise modeling, much more precise than the default 172 and the airfall labs, and at least in my review. So if I follow the YouTube tutorials of Dan Clow, for example, that I mentioned in the first episode, he, in my time, he already was already busy making his 3D cockpit. So yeah, I'm taking a lot of time here, but I'm really having fun. So Microsoft, good to see you. I tried Maple, couldn't even put the cockpit I wanted into the actual plane. Well, that's actually the most challenging bit, I guess, because now we're just modeling a very basic model of our Skyhawk. Look, almost like floats. But the actual 3D modeling comes when we're gonna go and do this yellow thing there, the yellow stage, Blender stuff. And I cannot wait to start with that and do actually proper 3D modeling and animations. That's going to be the real challenge. But also here, just familiarizing myself with PlaneMaker. Look at that nose wheel; it looks really good. That's cool. Also with the Pitot tube, look at that. We made that. Yeah, photoshopping also, doing all of the textures, also substance texturing, so not just giving it a plain color, but also knowing with a brush how to really work with scratches and making it in such a way that the firewall, for example, really looks like a metallic-y or plastic kind of substance, material, or the seats and that stuff. So I'm also very curious about learning about that too. So actually your subscriptions, guys, your donations help to buy that a tablet with a pen that I need to make that brushing a lot more natural looking. So thank you for all those subscriptions so far. Really contributes to my work. Anyways, let's continue. Fairings number 2 it was. Thank you. Should be a little bit closer. Perhaps even more. Well, let's use that. Seems okay-ish. What did you say you watch? That is Dan Clow. I will show you. So the music gets quite loud here, sorry. That is YouTube channel. That's Dan Clow. He's the guy. And he made these tutorials that I'm following. But it goes quite quick. These are episodes for only 8 minutes, and it gives you a rough kind of cut of what you need to do. But there are so many subtleties that I noticed that I needed to discover myself. But it is a good guide to see what is needed to create your own aircraft. And it also includes Blender as well. But again, a lot of stuff is skipped. So based off of those tutorials, that's how I try to infer my own planning here, my progress bar on top. And that's also why I'm doing my vlog series here, to really extend on that stuff. So if you like to tinker yourself, head over to Dan Claw. He's also the main guy, I think. I think it was Evil who said it. Also with Carenado and Just Flight, so he's actually a professional aircraft designer now. That was only That's also a bummer. Those videos are also quite dated. It's from 2009. So PlaneMaker was different, well, slightly different. And Blender is very, very different, an entirely other interface. But I guess you can still follow the same stuff. But yeah. Let's go. I think this is kind of okay. It should be a little bit longer. Fairings. This doesn't seem right. 2, 2. Yeah, I guess that's better. Yeah, I'd like to see that bit. All right, I think the height is about okay. So let's first get it from the ground up. Wheel fairings. So what would it be? Something like this. Let's see how that works. Bit higher. Bit higher. So we can, yeah, quite a bit higher. Actually, what we can do is just do a rough copy paste. That would save us a lot of time, I think. Yeah, copy, paste. Does it also work cross tab? So if I do copy there, and I do paste here. No, that doesn't work. Unfortunately. The third one, that's the fourth one, is there. Then the fourth one is over there. The farthest one, 1, 2, 3, is over there. So we can create something similar. And that one's a little bit out. And it's above the crossing line. That one is just nicely tucked in there. Where's the lowest one? It's about in the middle. So then we can tuck these in as well. Yeah. This saves some time. Yeah, then... this one is... what am I doing? That's 4, 3, 4, yes. That one's there, there. It's actually quite the same. I should just copy. Copy, paste. Fourth one, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Getting dizzy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. That one is kind of the same, okay. Yeah, copy, paste. I forget, I'm getting so over-focused. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're now with the 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. Sixth. We are 6th. That one. Yeah. Should also optimize this one as well. It's not pretty. Again, these sections, I mean, I was working with these other, within these other top, bottom, front, back tabs, but these sections are also not bad. Copy, paste. Yes. Okay. It should be the same level, so this is actually not that pretty. Yeah. Copy, paste. And then it goes a bit lower. Quite a bit in. Then it goes up. Yeah, it goes up. Yeah, that's true. And it's all down there. Yeah, now we got that point. Okay. Can we further optimize looking at this? Yes, we sure can. Should be much more straighter wall. So it goes down a bit, yeah. This should be okay-ish. Safe. Yeah, we only did the side views. Yeah, the side stations, and they are still yeah, they're also tucked on top of each other. So that one is just 100th of this difference. Again, it should be a little bit scaled actually. 100, then about 2. Let's make that 1 and 5, 200. Again 2. Let's make it 5. Again 2. Then suddenly 7. Oh no, that's 5. Sorry. So that's 0. And then there's plus 5. 0.5, I should say. Oh, I'm not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so this is not good. These are on top of one another, which I also don't like. So now we should see a bit of a shape. Yeah. And we can just change the... Let me see if we go to this. Let me just see it. This 2. Yes, exactly. Still, I want to have a look how it looks like in the sim. That's not bad. The general shape is okay. Oh, obviously, yeah. Wheel fairings. This one should be quite close. So that was a difference of 100. And wheel fairings. Yeah, so that one is 200s. No, 100s. Yeah, we did the same, and there was 150. We did 300s. Perhaps that's a bit too much. Yeah, that's much better already. This one should be moved up as well. So that's this one. 3. It's too much. That's better. That one should be moved up too. too much. Looks good. That one should be moved up too. I think. Oh, wrong one. Am I doing that right? No, not at all. Yes, that one. No. Yeah, that's good-ish. Make it 8. Just get these layout the same, which is good. Can be a little bit. 2. That's not too bad. And its first section should be a little bit moved up. 13. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Yeah. Let's just build it like it's hot. This one is still going up a bit, so it should be a bit lower. Just crossing. This one should be a little bit more. It's more pointy on that side. These are very good. Yes, 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 yes. I'm quite pleased with this. This one is messed up. Yeah, we which one is messed up? This one is messed up. No, it's not. So hard to see, but I do feel that I get the hang of it. Should be a bit lower. Looking good. Set this to vertical. This to vertical. This to vertical. This one I actually like. Up. Seems good to me. Can we go? Yeah, a little bit more like this. Good, 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 good. This is just the flat surface, so this shouldn't be too hard. There's a little bit of a tangle. Yeah. Good. There's a bit too much. Set to these two. These are okay. These are okay as well. Yeah, I think this is it. Looks pretty damn good. Oh man. Well, that went pretty fast. I think with the other wheel fairing, we can just copy paste. Then we're done. What do I have planned for today? I had wheel fairings, elevator trim, wing flat struts, and horizontal. Yeah, okay. Perhaps we're gonna do that tomorrow then. The wing flex, I don't know what that one is. In terms of reading about that in the manual, I know what it is, but let me look at the picture. Yeah, it seems to be more like an angle. That one too seems to be more cut in half, actually. Wheel fairings. So this is not good. It should be much more like this. Is that piece bigger? Doesn't seem like it though. What about the wheels? Can be a little bit closer to the wheels. Okay. actually quite a sharp point. I mean, it's actually just a tiny tip, so I think that this is even wrong. It should perhaps be much smaller, narrower. No, that's not true. This is good. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Should change that as well with the front. Could also lower the bit with this section. So lower it so it is more centered with this. Well, thank you for dropping by, Boom. Have a great day. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, now it's more centered. Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm quite pleased with this. Save. Yeah, we need to make the other one. It shouldn't be too difficult. Standard wheel fairings. This is number, yeah. So we do it like this. Open that one up. Let me see. Let me see, just 30 seconds. So I would invited that other streamer or other aircraft developer is SN, who also made some aircraft. And on Discord I invited him to just join, but apparently he was asleep all the time, so it might be another time that he can join us. Let me see. This is good. Wheel number 3. Yeah, so how many stations? 9 radii. Just 1 point. This is 2 feet. It should be much more or much less. I mean, 1 feet. Let me just see. Yeah. There's no way to import aircraft body. Can we also export it then? Guess not. Yeah, we should just mimic. So it's not going to be a perfect replica. Let's first get the general shape going. Copy, paste. Seems that way I can edit these points. We got 4 left. 4s. Somewhere around. It's the second, yeah. So it's there. And then it should be like here. And that one should be there. And up seems to be about right. Again, copy paste. That one is even further up. There. 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 And there. There's but also a bit lower, yeah. So, more like this, a bit more like that. Copy, paste. Copy, paste. That one. Again, more on top, but not entirely. Somewhere around there, there, there. It's 2. And then again, we round it off a bit. Good. Copy, paste. Let's go to the top. Good. Small jump down. Oh. Seems about right. Seems about right. And 2 down. A bit more. Bit of a flat surface there. Seems to be good. Copy. Paste. Going down a bit. A bit closer. Makes sense indeed. Good. Copy. Paste. It's just a block wide. Now we should be there. And then we should be there. And then here, just a little bit above that line, and then these should all be tucked. Like so, and then this point should be there. And yeah, then the station width, or the arms, I mean, 1 minus 1 minus 1 4 minus 1 2 2 1 5 minus 9 8 3 this is also 1.8317 minus 7 7 8 8 4 3 points 8 9. Hey, Midwest, it's good to see you. Making progress with the wheel fairings here. There should be done after these last few digits. 7 5 2 2 0 1 1 4 1 5 9 3 7 8 8 4 9 3 3 0 8 9 2 7 5. Yeah, this should work. Oh yeah, done. Wheel fairings. Now the one thing is, I made them just by observing. So I can already see a little bit some things that are off. But generally though, it has the right shape. Now again, what X-Plane is not doing is really doing all the calculations for each surface that you see here. So it just averages out, and we need to put in a lot of other numbers like the drag coefficient and that kind of stuff. So I'm just helping myself here, I guess, in preparation of Blender, where I can load in this model and already know that it's quite right. So that's why. But look at that. I'm pleased with this. Very pleased. One thing that I'm noticing is that there's a top over there, which is just after the wheel, and here it's in the front, and I think it should be in the front. Let me see. This is the wheel fairing of the main wheels. Yeah, it should be a little bit more to the front. So let's change that one up. I need to do that twice. Front and back. Oh, again, we can improve on this as well. I totally forgot about this tab. It's not too bad though. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, it's going more like that. That's true. this as well. Oh, that's the later one. Should be more straight down. Hey, SN. Hope you had a good sleep. I think it would be better if we do our chat tomorrow or Saturday if you like. Now we have some time. I'm just finishing off the wheel fairings here. We'd love to chat with you. And also get a general sense again of the workflow of building an aircraft. You guys already have a lot more experience, so I'd like to just pick your brain. Have a sense of pitfalls or how you just plan to do the aircraft. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to that as well. Yeah, so this is just one entire piece. Yeah, this is not bad. I mean, it's just a wheel fairing, but I still like it to be a little bit in shape, literally. Yes. Look at that. Look at that wheel fairing. And again, I think that there are subtle differences between one wheel fairing and the next, but I didn't find any data on that. Let me see. Yeah, so again, screenshots here do work. Hello? Wheel fairing 3, Roger, like so. Yeah. And let's just draw it over. And it doesn't have to match up completely, but This seems a total mess, as it was with the wheel fairing number 3. Yeah. That one. That one. That one. That one. Like so, so. A bit higher. That one should be straight down. Looking good. That point. Yes. And here, a little bit up. Well, I don't mind too much actually. It should be more close indeed. Too much. All right. That seems quite similar to me. Seems to be a little bit more farther out. Therefore, this one as well. A little bit of an edge. Okay. And now, if we go to the back, it should be much more perfect. Oh, yes, it is. This is so cool. But I like to clean up. Also, I'm quite a bit curious. I mean, we got a bit of a flat wheel fairing on top. Should it actually be that flat? I don't know. Or is it a little bit more curved, Cessna? Yeah, nose actually, just from the nose. Yeah, this one, for example. No, it's a bit more rounded. Well, it's not too bad though, but those points here at the sides can go a little bit more down. Wheel fairings, so these can go a little bit more down. It's much more rounded shape actually. And then it goes straight down pretty much. And then at the bottom it seems much more flat, so that looks kind of good. I should perhaps also look up some documentation or videos just how to properly 3D vector stuff. Because I'm just doing this on some weird intuition and it kind of is okay. But I guess there are just very basic rules to follow where you can just see whether this makes sense or not. I would expect, but not that sure. Very, very good. With this one as well, we need to do the same. Okay, we could make a screen dump to make things a bit more consistent. As in, if you want, I can get a guy from our 3D design element into the chat as well, and you can discuss some basic modeling thing. I would love to, SN. I would love to. If you guys don't mind, it will really be great. Or we can make it 2 streams. I mean, there's no limitation whatsoever. Would also perhaps be cool if your friend could perhaps review the modeling that we did so far with the Skyhawk, and we can just go through the fuselage and the general model that we have, and he can say, well, and all the nitty bitty small things I would really love to know, or also much better, an approach to better model. I would love to. Did I miss the guest speaker earlier? Well, Miniwebs, that's SN, and he was quite tired, so we're gonna postpone that chat to tomorrow or Saturday or so, and perhaps also make it more an extended chat with one of his friends that also does 3D modeling. I would love to get as much experience and knowledge, and also just to further promote and share just the fun of 3D modeling, especially for our wonderful flight simulation hobby. Good. Hey, Buck, good to see you. Just finished off the wheel fairings, and I'm quite pleased with that. Not just because these are wheel fairings and they are such important components of our Skyhawk, but mostly because it's again an additional 3D model that I needed to make, and I didn't got stuck in all of this vertices spaghetti, so that was good. And we also had no measures or no pictures that we can work, or at least not sketches that we can load in, as you can see. So we just did it by observing, and it actually looks pretty great to me. Don't you think? I think it's Awesome. But again, I would love to get some sketches to get those wheel fairings perfect, because I do think that there are differences. You can also see a difference here in top. Asymmetrical differences that make these wheel fairings a little bit more aerodynamically correct or effective, given the Skyhawk. Have you touched your aircraft in X-Plane? No, Buck, I did not. Cannot wait to do so. And we will, but first we need to make the aircraft right. And also, we're just modeling right now. So this is just a model. But we still need to figure out the airfoil. So the angle of incidence and all kinds of other stuff. We also need to put in a lot of numbers just to make the engine work. Then we're going to create a very basic 2D cockpit that I'm never going to use, but just for the sake of knowing how fast we are flying. And then we're going to do our test flight in X-Plane, and that's going to be quite a stream. So no, we're just modeling right now. And it's looking pretty damn good. One thing that I am noticing though, if I look at the wheels, they are perfectly aligned with the ground. And if I look at this image, the front image, you can see that the main wheels are a little bit tilted, a little bit edged, a little bit rolled, which does ring a bell. So I think landing gear, let's see if we can do something about it, but first let's save. Can we do something about that? I don't think so. Lateral angle. Longitudinal angle. Lateral angle, retracted, extended. Now we're extended, obviously. Yeah, so we cannot, I guess. Cycle time. This is the time it takes to raise or lower the gear. Nope. Gear data. Again, all kinds of frictions and stuff. We also need to put in the degree of deflection, or how much we can actually turn the nose wheel. So there's still a lot of stuff that we need to put in. But first, I like to model the aircraft. And make it right. And it's really coming together. It's already more precise, more accurate than in the full 172. The airfoil lapses. The airfoil lapse actually has quite a weird model. It has flaps up to here, and it also has slats, actual animated slats at the front leading edge here, which we don't see when we load up the Airfoil Labs aircraft in the in X-Plane, because then it only renders, it only shows you the 3D model, the Blender model, which actually looks pretty good. But the actual model that X-Plane sees and work with to make all of the aerodynamics work, that's quite different. Now it could be that they needed to do that in order to create a better flight, more authentic flight performance, even though, so it's like it is a limitation of PlaneMaker to create the exact flight performance of the Skyhawk. So perhaps they are just tweaking or hacking that model to make that air performance just right. by implementing things that are not actually there in the real Skyhawk, graphically on the outside. Because I know that the Airflow Labs actually promotes itself to being a really creating or offering a really realistic Skyhawk. So that's interesting. We need to. That's again the reason why we need to do our test flight as well, to see how that works. All right, guys, that's about it. That was quite the work. I didn't think that it would take that long to create the wheel fairings, but now that I know what I needed to do, it does make sense. So what we did today was we made those wheel fairings, which is great. We also made the Pitot tube, as you can see here, as a miscellaneous body. I guess also just to show what you can do with miscellaneous bodies. We also made the exhaust pipe, but that's what we did in the last stream, previous stream. Yeah, also made here this skid so that we can actually do. It's a bit too long, actually, still. So we can do tail strikes. 6. No, I did not do that right, I think. This is not the skid. I think this is the exhaust pipe, and this is the. No, this is just this is the Pitot tube. This is the Pitot tube. How did I make the skid? That was landing gear. That's this thing. Skids. Yeah. Where is it? It's over there. Oh, with such a zoom, we cannot see. Thank you, PlaneMaker. That's vertical arm. It should be this. Yeah, that's better. A little bit smaller. So yeah, things are coming together. So what are we going to do in our next stream tomorrow? So wheel fairings we did. I plan to do also all of this other stuff. The elevator trim, which is just some numbers, and also the wing flex, the amount that the degree to which the wings can wiggle. The struts here need to be thicker as well. Not really a particular type of airfoil that we need to make for that. I think the same goes for the horizontal stabilizer, but I'm not sure. I think it's just symmetrical. If not, that's going to be the next big stream, the Saturday stream, because then we're going to work with FairMaker, which is another application next to PlaneMaker here at the bottom. Where we specifically model the airfoil, and that's the time when we're going to do a lot of maths, also based on the stuff that I started today's stream with, to calculate the angle of incidences per wing station and to make it just right, which is a really important aspect, really significant part of how X-Plane calculates our Skyhawk. And then we also see that change in the airfoil happening here. We see it visually here in the model, and then I'd like to again review the fuselage, especially the cabin here, and to make it fit, because now you can see it doesn't fit tightly, and it should be just perfect. So we also take some other pictures and measures to make it right and make it just go just along the edge here of that new wing. So that's going to be quite interesting. And then when we did that, then we finished off the actual modeling, which I'm very, very proud of. So now we're talking about, well, not Sunday. Sunday is a family day. So that's, well, throughout next week. Then we're gonna input all of the numbers, so the RPM, the max RPM of the Skyhawk, fuel injection, all kinds of stuff that I'm not quite aware of, let alone knowledgeable of, or quite understand. And that, also the propeller blades, by the way, as the airfoil, that's also something we're going to do here, right? Propeller blades, airfoil, because those also have a twist, a washout, which we need to account for. Anyways, then we're going to put in all of those numbers, and then we have a flyable plane that we can load up. I mean, this thing also flies now if we load it up in X-plane, but it's a glider. The engine doesn't work, even though we have some propeller turning here. Yeah, so the numbers we need to put in, yeah, then we can load it up, but preferably I would also just create a basic 2D cockpit with just a few instruments. Don't know if we can auto start in X-plane, but we also need to be able to start up the propeller, to start up the engine. And it might be cool as well if we can do that very automatically. Here in PlaneMaker we can hit some kind of menu thing here. Touch up aircraft textures, something like that. And PlaneMaker automatically makes a PNG file or something like that to and already wraps some kind of default livery on top of your aircraft model, so it knows where the wings are, it knows where the engine is, and that's a Photoshop file that we can then work with, which I'm not going to refine before we do our test flight. But so when we load this thing up in X-plane, we don't see a completely grayed out Cessna, which is not a big thing, but it's just nice. And then we're going to do our test flight extensively, and I think that will also take much more time than I initially think. If you look at our progress bar here on top, it's just a tiny bit here, airfoil maker, and including the testing. But yeah, that's gonna require some time as well. We need to get the performance tables and see what it does, and we need to make the right maneuvers to even yield the right all of the different flight performance thingies to be sure that it's actually flying properly. So that's going to be really, really exciting, I think. Alrighty then. Anything else? I think I just paused it. I thought, no, I didn't. No, well, SN might drop in as well, so we can have a chat with some more experienced aircraft developers, so that might be cool as well, tomorrow or either Saturday. What sounds good, Tim? Good. So that's something that I'm looking forward to as well, to pick the brains of more knowledgeable, more experienced aircraft developers, also to get a better sense of this Blender part here at the end of my one of the next stages of the development process. Also, perhaps whether we should account already for some issues or some things already here in PlaneMaker, so we're much better prepared once we reach that Blender stage. I don't know. So I'm really curious to interview those guys. That's it. Save again. A almost 4-hour stream. Really good. Yeah, guys, that's it. Thank you for dropping by. Again, it really means a lot. Even if you just say hello or something, it gives a really nice presence to the stream. I mean, I'm just working on my own, I know, and it's quite tiring, I guess, just to watch this. But, well, therefore, I really appreciate that when you guys just drop by and just say hello. It just gives a sense of community and also a sense of, well, support or encouragement almost. So, thank you. So next stream is going to be tomorrow. Don't know the time. I guess somewhere around the afternoon here locally. So again, around 1300 Zulu time, something like that. If you want to be sure to be there at the start of my stream, follow me on Twitter. Watch out for those tweets because there I will announce my exact streaming time. As always, thank you, Watt, and thank you, MiniWebs, SN, all of you here saying hello and dropping by to watch or follow, monitor my progress. Thank you again. Hoping to see you also tomorrow. And as always, happy flights and blue skies.